Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us today for our webinar focusing on the Masters of Professional Accountancy Cohort and Flex program. Today, we're going to do a quick introduction of myself and Dr. Demersion. We're going to go over why Robinson. We'll do a program overview. We'll look at the curriculum for both the Flex and the Cohort program. We'll talk a little bit about the GSU student experience, some outcome guides, the application process, as well as tuition and financing of your degree. So to get things kicked off, my name is Bailey Rundle, and I am your graduate recruitment manager for both the Flex and the Cohort program at GSU. I'm originally from Seattle, Washington, but I've been here in Atlanta for about 4 years now. And my job is really to help guide you through the admissions process and any questions you may have prior to the start of your program. So I'm here with you all the way up till you start the program. And then today with us, we also have Dr. Demersion, if you would like to introduce yourself.
Sure. Thanks, Bailey. My name is Peter Demersion. I'm the director of the School of Accountancy, and in addition, I'm an associate professor of accounting. I've been at Georgia State University for about a year, but I've been a professor for about 16 years. I've typically taught at all levels, but introductory financial accounting. Very glad to have you all considering joining the MPA program.
Thank you so much. So we're going to just kick things off right away with why Robinson. Why should you look at Robinson School of Business to get your Master's of Professional Accountancy degree? So for those that are unfamiliar with GSU, we are located in Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta, Georgia is considered the Silicon Valley of the South. It's really where technology and finance is coming and merging together. We do have a large metro area population of about 6 million. We are in the Eastern time zone, and we do have a humid subtropical climate. So for those unfamiliar with us, we are located right here in the Southeast, right above Florida. We're about 4 hours away from the ocean and about an hour or two away from the mountains. So depending on what kind of climate you want, you have a little bit of everything at access to you here in Atlanta. We like to say we get all 4 seasons, but our winters are pretty mild and our summers are pretty hot. We are home to the 1996 Olympics, and it's something that we're very proud of and can be seen throughout our city. We still have the Olympic torches up, are the Olympic rings. It's a big part of our culture here in Atlanta, and it's something that we like to show off. Some other fun facts about Atlanta is we are home to the busiest airport in the world. So our airport does see more passengers pass through it every single day than any other airport in the world. And what this really means is for our international students and our domestic students outside of Georgia is that there are flights coming in, out, and out every single day. You have flights to your home country or your home states, and they usually are offered at pretty good prices because there are so many flights in and out every single day. We are home to 40 corporate innovation centers. We are expected to create 1.9 million jobs by 2040, and we are home to 29 Fortune 500 and Fortune 1000 companies, which puts us 6th in the country in terms of how many of these companies are headquartered in our city. These are some statistics and some rankings about Atlanta as a whole. So we are rated the #1 best state for doing business, the #1 US tech hub, #3 metro for STEM professionals, #5 state for innovation, #6 most attractive metro for Gen Zers, #8 market for tech talent, 13th best place for business and careers, and 18th best city for young professionals in America. So Atlanta is a really growing hub right now. We are seeing a ton of companies come to Atlanta, start their businesses in Atlanta, and then we have a ton of companies that have been longstanding companies here in Atlanta. So students from all over the country and all over the world are coming to Atlanta to start their professional careers. Here at Robinson, we like to say no one gets closer to business than Robinson, and this is in terms of our over 80,000 alumni. We boast one of the largest and most engaged business alumni bases in the US. The depth and breadth of our corporate partners relationships enable us to support our students from a career advancement and employee perspective. We mean this both metaphorically and physically. So a lot of these companies are located, blocks from where our school is located. So the headquarters of the Home Depot, Delta, Chick-fil-A, Bank of America, KPMG, EY are all within our city. And so we have strong relationships with all of these companies, and our students are doing internships and going to work for these companies after graduation. So a little bit about Georgia State University as a whole. We are home to 53,000 students. We do have a $2.6 billion economic impact to the Metro Atlanta/Georgia area. We are consisted of 11 colleges and schools. Robinson College of Business is one of those colleges that make up Georgia State University. And we are rated the second most innovative university in the US. So that's something we're very proud of here at GSU. So as I said, Robinson is one of the schools that make up Georgia State University. We have over 80,000 alumni. Currently, we have about 9,500 students enrolled, and this is in terms of undergrad and graduate students. And some of our rankings are listed there. So this is a look at our graduate school by the numbers. So we are made up of 18 programs. The Flex Accounting program and the Cohort accounting program make up 18 of those programs. We have about 1,600 students. We have a pretty 50-50 split between male and female. We are a little more female heavy than male heavy, which is unique for business schools. Business schools tend to be a little bit more male driven. So we're really proud of the fact that we do have such a large female population here at Robinson. And then we do have a very large international population as well. So about 34% of our students are international students. And those international students are coming from 75 different countries across the globe. And that is really cool for your business school education because you're learning from perspectives from students that you don't get to learn from every single day. So you're going to have students from India and Africa and Europe, and all of those countries are going to make your learning experience here more beneficial and more enriching for you. Our population is made up of 55% historically excluded populations. We have students from 29 different states, and the average incoming student is about 31 years old. So this is your MPA team. You've already met me. I'm your graduate recruitment manager. So I'm really here with you all the way till you start the program. Once you start the program, it's really going to be Dr. Demersion and Corey that are going to help you through that till graduation. Corey's going to be your academic advisor. She's going to make sure all of your I's are dotted, all your T's are crossed, make sure you have all the classes you need to graduate and be successful at graduation. And then Dr. Demersion's there to make sure your curriculum is up to date, you're prepared to be an accountant after graduation, and he's really there to support you as well. So Dr. Demersion's now going to take over and tell us a little bit more about the Flex and the accounting programs.
Thanks, Bailey. So we offer two distinct MPA programs based on the educational background of the student. For students that have an undergraduate degree in accounting, you qualify for the Flex program. And this is our more traditional MPA degree. And this is to provide you with the extra accounting hours needed to qualify for the CPA exam. However, we know some students finish their undergraduate degree not in accounting and then realize they want to get a CPA and enter the field of accounting. And for those students, we have the Cohort program. And this essentially prepares you to take the CPA exam, not having taken any undergraduate accounting courses outside of the introductory courses. So the question I want to answer here is why get a Robinson MPA? In terms of learning outcomes, there's a number of areas that you will be proficient in as you finish. This includes financial accounting and reporting, so the external reporting of companies. This includes the auditing of public financial statements and the assurance. So this is an important service of professional accounting firms. Additionally, there's the auditing role within companies. This is what's called internal auditing. So we have graduates go to all these different roles and work in these kind of jobs. Our master's classes are offered in the evening, so you can keep your day job, and many students work full-time while completing their degree. There's case competitions you can participate in with different firms and organizations. And you can get a great deal of exposure to Big Four accounting firms, plus some larger national and then regional and local firms as well. Key in the MPA degree is being qualified to sit for the Certified Public Accounting or CPA exam. When you finish either the Flex or the Cohort MPA, you will be qualified to sit for the CPA. We also have some very active student organizations to help support you and enrich your journey. This includes the Accounting Honor Society, Beta Alpha Psi, NABA, which is the National Association of Black Accountants, And we also have an Alpha chapter, the Association for Latino Professionals in Finance and Accounting, and the Pan-Asian Leaders in Finance and Accounting. The first MPA degree I'll talk about is the Flex format. As its name implies, this is a flexible format program. It typically takes students 3 or more semesters, and you can work at your own pace based on your availability and your time. The total curriculum is 30 hours, a total of 10 3-credit hour courses. We admit students all year round in the fall, spring, and the summer. Our classes are offered Monday through Thursday, and we typically offer classes either at 4:30 or 7:15 p.m. These will all be located at Robinson's downtown campus in Atlanta. The majority of these classes will be held in person, though some are offered online. In terms of who qualifies for the Flex program, you need to have a 4-year undergraduate accounting degree from an accredited college university, or completion of the requisite coursework in equivalency. So this essentially means the assumption of the Flex program is you have a good solid grounding and coursework in undergraduate accounting. Additionally, for students who are not from the United States, you must also have a US-based federal income tax course. An income tax course from the jurisdiction where you come from will not qualify you here. The assumption is you know US federal income tax. We also love it if students have some business experience, but this is not required to be successful in the program. In terms of the Flex curriculum, we break it into 2 parts, required and elective courses. For the required courses, there's 6 total for a total of 18 credit hours, and these comprise advanced level courses in what will be considered sort of the core of an accounting education. This includes taxation, advanced accounting topics, which is financial accounting, advanced management accounting systems, and then advanced topics in insurance services, which is auditing. Additionally, we have a user perspective course, financial statement and business analysis, where you get to learn how to use financial information in decision making, plus a seminar in internal auditing, where you can learn about that dimension of the field. In addition to the 6 required courses, you also take 4 elective courses, total of 12 credit hours. These electives give you the opportunity to diversify what you take and focus on what's interesting to you, both personally and potentially professionally. You can take up to 2 accounting courses electives. These include a field study in accounting, and this is where you get credit for taking an internship in accounting or a course in forensic accounting, which is always really popular. Outside of electives in accounting, you can take accounting-related courses in various other departments around Robinson. Here's just a small selection of some of the courses, things like data-driven decision-making, corporate financial policy, or data management for analytics. The nice thing about the electives and being at such a large school like Robinson is pretty much anything you might be interested in, that's going to be available for you to learn about.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm just going to take a moment to kind of look at the outcomes of our students graduating with a Flex degree. So 92% of our students are employed within 3 months of graduation, and our average student is coming out making about $69,000 with an average time to pay back a bank investment of 2.7 years. You can see there the select job titles that students go on to get. They become tax accountants, they become controllers, business analysts, audit associates, assurance associates, and many more. And then down here in the bottom left-hand corner is where our students go to work after graduation. So you can see that the big 4 are represented. So we have EY, we have Deloitte, KPMG, P&W and PwC, and then as well as some smaller firms as well. This is a look at our incoming class from 2021. The average age of our student is 30, and they come in with about 5.4 years of work experience. As Dr. Demersion mentioned earlier, we do like to see work experience on your application, but it's definitely not a requirement, but it could definitely boost your application as well. Represented is about 54% female, which is pretty on track with the rest of the business college as well. And we do only have 11% international students, and this really is because we do require a US Intro to Federal Tax course, as Dr. Demersion said earlier. So if you are an international student, you just want to make sure you have that US Federal Income Tax course.
Thanks, Bailey. The second format we have for the MPA program is the Cohort program. This is a little bit more structured than the Flex program, which provides more flexibility. This program is 16 months, a total of 4 semesters. Like the Flex program, it includes 30 hours with 10 courses, but we only admit students in the fall. So when you get admitted with your cohort, you're going to work in lockstep with your cohort the remainder of your time in the program. We typically have small class sizes. We tend to limit them to about 30. And classes will meet on Tuesday and Thursday evenings. These classes meet in Buckhead at Robinson's Professional Education Center. In terms of the required candidate profile, you need a 4-year undergraduate business degree from an accredited college or university, but you don't need an accounting degree. And this is precisely who this degree is designed for. People who maybe have a finance or a computer information systems or some other business or business-related degree who realize after looking at the job market on graduation that they're interested in an accounting job. They're interested in getting their CPA. This is the program for you. All that's required is Principles of Accounting 1 and 2. So these are the first 2 introductory courses. This is often called Introductory Financial Accounting and Introductory Managerial Accounting. And again, as with the Flex program, we love to see some business experience, but again, it's not a prerequisite for admission into this program. Unlike the Flex program, where there is required courses and electives, the cohort curriculum is more structured to make sure everybody gets precisely the classes they need to be CPA eligible. So this consists of 10 courses over 30 credit hours, and this essentially emulates an undergraduate accounting curriculum, but at a somewhat more advanced level since it is a graduate degree. You start with what is essentially intermediate financial accounting, that's financial accounting 1 and 2. You do cost accounting, which is managerial and accounting information systems. Then you move on to taxation, auditing, and then some other topics. The idea is when you finish the cohort curriculum, you'll have the 30 accounting credit hours you need to be eligible for the CPA, and you'll be prepared with the foundational knowledge to successfully sit for the exam.
Thank you so much, Dr. Demerjen, for going over those for us. So this is a look at the cohort statistics compared to the Flex statistics that we looked at a little earlier. So unlike the Flex program, the cohort program sees 100% of students employed within 3 months of graduation. The starting salary is a little higher, and we see an average salary increase of about $15,000 for our students. Once again, our population is pretty representative of the business school as a whole. We're about 54% female and about 11% international students. The incoming student is very similar to the Flex student. They're about 30 years old and come in with a 5.4 years of work experience. And then you can see based on the job titles and the select MPA employers that our cohort students are getting the exact same jobs as our Flex students and going to work for the same companies pretty much as our Flex students. So just because you're in the cohort program, you can get a very similar job as our Flex students and go work for the Big Four or as smaller consulting firms as well. So we're going to pivot a little bit away from the curriculum and look at the student services team. Here at Robinson, you will have a designated student services personnel for you, and they're really the touch point and the liaison between you and the university. They're there to help assist and develop your professional skills. They plan co-curricular and extracurricular activities for you. Sometimes these are industry events, professional development workshops, company and site visits, commencement activities. So they're really there to help you through this experience, anything outside of the curriculum. So all of your extracurriculars, your student services team is there to help assist you with. You will also have access to our Career Advancement Center. And here at Robinson, we think of career advancement in 3 stages. The first stage being pre-work. How do we review your resume? Give you access to our job portal Handshake. We'll give you LinkedIn profile feedback. We'll help you with your elevator pitch. And this is all to help prepare you to go to the job search prep. And this is done in the form of workshops. And so these are some of the extracurriculars that you'll partake in. You'll go to workshops on building your job search plan, getting job search strategies that actually work. They'll completely renovate your resume. They'll do a session on how to get real results at career fairs and info sessions. So not only how do you find them, but how do you get results when you go to those fairs? and then they'll do interview preparation and practice for you. And this is all to help you go to market. And so in the third stage of your career advancement, we're going to give you opportunities to engage in employee engagement events. You'll be able to join one or more professional associations related to your career goals. And then you'll also do coffee chats with industry professionals. So our whole goal here at GSU is not to make sure you're only successful inside the classroom, but make sure you're marketable after graduation. That's the whole point of going and getting a master's degree, to make yourself marketable, to advance your career. And we're really here to help assist you both in and outside the classroom. So this is a look at how much, we skipped a slide, sorry, how much the program is going to cost you. So the cohort and the flex program do have two different tuition rates, and they are set up a little differently. So for our cohort MPA students, in-state residents are going to pay around $37,500, and our out-of-state and international students are going to pay about $43,500, and those are set rates. The Flex MPA program is not a set rate. It is based on how many credit hours you take per semester. So it is charged on a per credit system. So for our in-state students, it's going to be $499 per credit hour, and our out-of-state students, it's going to be $1,308 per credit hour. Just a reminder, all the classes are 3 credit hours. So when you're calculating the cost, you do want to times these numbers by 3, because that's how much one class is going to cost you. In addition, you will have fees each semester. Fall and spring is different than summer fees. So that's where the estimated total cost comes in, because it just depends on how many classes you're taking each semester. So in total, we estimate that a Flex MPA student for in-state is going to it's going to cost you anywhere from $18,444 to about $20,000, and for our out-of-state students, it's going to be about $42,000 to $45,000. So just keep that in mind. There are some additional fees that are incurred. You do have a $50 application fee, and there is a $250 seat deposit. A lot of students get confused with this $250 seat deposit. It is not an additional $250 that you have to pay. It is included in these rates that we just discussed. It's just $250 upfront to secure your spot in the program and to let us know, I'm planning on attending GSU. So that is not an additional $250. It's already included in your rate. We just require it upfront. We understand that going and getting your master's degree is a huge financial commitment, and we're here to help try to offset that as best as we can. So we do have a couple different financing opportunities. We do offer merit-based scholarships and merit-based graduate assistantships. And how these are awarded is when we review your application, we are automatically reviewing you for these merit-based scholarships or merit-based graduate assistantships. If you do not get one of these, that doesn't mean that you won't get a GRA at all. It just means you didn't receive one at the time of your admission. Once you're admitted into the program, you will have access to our job portal Handshake. And in there, different departments from across the university will post open graduate assistantship positions, and you're more than welcome to apply for those as well. We do also accept private scholarships. Some scholarships that our students have applied to in the past are Accounting and Financial Women's Alliance Scholarship, Educational Foundation for Women in Finance, National Association for Black Accountants, American Institute of CPAs. And then our big one is the Georgia Society of CPAs. The Georgia Society of CPAs actually awarded 6 of our student scholarships for this incoming fall. So it's a partnership that we work very closely with, and we're very proud of our relationship with the Georgia Society of CPAs, and they take care of our students in return. So we're very thankful for them. If you are a domestic student, we obviously have access to educational loans. So you'll have access to the federal student aid, Grad Plus loans, and private educational loans. Please remember that in order to get access to these loans, you do have to fill out your FAFSA. So even though you filled out your FAFSA in undergrad, you do have to complete a new FAFSA for graduate school. If you have any questions about financing your degree, creating a payment plan, anything like that, please reach out to financial aid. They will have all the answers to all of your questions, and you can reach out to them at rcvfinancialaid@gsu.edu. What's really cool about that is it's just the financial aid office for Robinson College of Business. So they are not taking calls from, the math department or the English department. It is just the School of Business. So they are very familiar with your programs, how much your programs cost, and how they can best assist you. We are now going to take a look at the application process, which is probably one of the most important things you'll learn today. So the application process is very simple. You are going to go to gradapply.gsu.edu/apply. The application does have a $50 application fee, so just keep that in mind. For test scores, we do not require the GMAT or the GRE, so you are not required to submit those scores. If you choose to submit scores, I would highly recommend that if you choose to take the test, you get the scores sent to yourself first, review the scores, make sure they're scores you're proud of, and then send them to us in your application. I would not recommend taking the test and just automatically sending your scores to us, because if you send the scores, we have to review them no matter what. So a really good score could help your application, could help boost it. A poor score could hurt your application. So if you're sick that day, if you just had something going on in your life and you just didn't do well on the test and you still send us those scores, we still have to take that into consideration. So just keep that in mind when thinking about, should I send a GMAT or GRE score? We would think a 300 or higher on the GRE is a good GRE score, and a 600 or higher on the GMAT would be a good score. For our international students, we do require English proficiency scores, and we only accept TOEFL or the IELTS. We will not accept Duolingo. There are some exceptions to that. So if you're from a country where your native language is English, we will waive those requirements for you. And so we have a list of countries on our website that show which countries are excluded from having to provide TOEFL or IELTS scores. So if you're from Ghana, Nigeria, Canada, Australia, countries like that, we won't require them. For the TOEFL, we do require a 90 or higher, and for the IELTS, we do require a 6.5 or higher. So just keep that in mind. We also require all of your transcripts. So whether you took one class in a summer at a different university and transferred that into your home university, we still need to have that individual transcript. So we need all the transcripts from every university you've attended. For the purpose of reviewing your application, they can be your unofficial transcripts, but prior to you starting the program, we will have to have your official transcripts. We do require a resume. So on the resume, we want to see any work experience that you have, any internship experience, any programming skills, anything like that. Please include on your resume. As Dr. Demersion said earlier, we don't require you to have work experience, but work experience could definitely help your application. For letters of recommendation, they are not required, but we highly recommend that you submit anywhere from 2 to 3 letters of recommendation. And preferably from someone that can attest to your academic ability, so either a current or former professor, or your work ability, so a current or former supervisor. Because you're applying to accounting, if you could have a letter of recommendation from an accounting professor, that would be a little bit more impactful than, a letter of recommendation from your art teacher. So just keep that in mind when you're thinking, who can write me a letter of recommendation? We do require a personal statement. So the personal statement is going to be about a 750-word essay. And the things that I would include on that personal statement that are going to have the biggest impact are, what are your future career goals? How is this degree going to help you reach those career goals? And what will you bring to the table? What do you bring to the program? What excess knowledge do you have? What background do you come from? What makes you unique to the program? We then also require a video interview, and a lot of students get nervous about the video interview, but it is not it's not meant to be to trip you up. It's really a way for us to get to know you outside of what we're reading on a piece of paper. And so how the video interview works is you have 5 minutes to answer 3 pre-recorded questions. And so you are going to sit in front of a camera just like this, and the questions will populate, and you have 5 minutes to answer those questions. They are all going to be character-based questions. So we're not going to ask you to solve an accounting problem. It's going to be, tell us about a time where you had to overcome a struggle. Tell us about a time where you had to work in a team. Why are you interested in the program? Those types of questions. A couple of advice for the video interview. I would prepare for it as you would a professional interview. So dress professionally, make sure you're in a professional environment, make sure it's quiet, there's good lighting, make sure you speak professionally. And then the other most important thing, I think, is you have 3 chances to record the interview, and the questions are not going to change. So the pitfall that I see a lot of students make is they sit there, they do the first one, and then they know what the questions are, so they write down a script of what they want to say, and then they sit there with a piece of paper in front of their face, and they read word for word what their script says. That's not really showing me your personality. That's not showing me that you can, answer questions in an interview. I understand that you're going to say, I understand that you might have to take a second to think of your answer. Those are all normal and natural things. Sitting there with a piece of paper in front of your face, just reading what you wrote, is not what we want to see. So be organic, be natural, make those mistakes. Show us who you are, show us that you can interview without just sitting there reading the piece of paper. If I could give any advice, that would be it. So this is for our most up-to-date application deadlines. You're going to want to scan this QR code. It will take us to the website, and it will show you the most up-to-date deadlines for the application process. So we do admit in rounds, and we have 4 rounds of admission. The application for spring and fall 2024 will be opening at the end of July, beginning of August. So depending on when you're viewing this webinar, the application may already be open, or it may be in the process of getting open. Once again, end of July, beginning of August, the new application will open. This is a slide for our upcoming webinars. So we will have 2 live webinars coming up, preparing your graduate business school application, where they'll give you more tips and insight on how to create that application, how do you do your personal statement, tips for the video interview, things like that. And then a question and answers with financial aid and scholarships. So if you have any questions on how to finance your degree, any scholarships you can get, you're going to want to attend those webinars. Those webinars will offer you an application fee waiver. So if you want to waive your application fee of $50, you can attend one of these webinars. So these are our student ambassadors. So me and Dr. Demersion can sit here for hours and tell you how great the program is and how fantastic Robinson is, but it, is more impactful to hear it from a current student, what their experience is. We have students from all across our programs, from all of our different countries. So if you are a student coming from Ghana and you are nervous about where you should live in Atlanta, or is there going to be good African food here? Is there a community that you can join? You can connect with a student from any country and any one of our programs. You just scan this QR code. It will give you a list of all of our students, and you can connect with them via blog post, live chats, things like that. So thank you so much for coming to our webinar today. We hope you learned something, and hopefully you're excited to be a Panther and want to join the MPA program in the next upcoming recruitment cycle. If you have any questions after this webinar and need some advice, need anything answered, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. My email is brundle@gsu.edu. And then there's Dr. Demersion's contact information as well, pdemerjia@gsu.edu, and he will be happy to answer any questions you have as well. He may forward you over to me, so you may want to reach out to me first, and then if we need to get Dr. Demersion involved, he can, we can reach out to him. But if you want to reach out to him first, I get it. He's very cool, so you can reach out to him, and then he'll forward you over to me. But if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. We so enjoyed you taking a moment to watch our webinar today, and we hope to see your application in the upcoming cycle. And thank you, Dr. Demersion, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks, Bailey.